Good evening, everyone. You can start your presentations. We'll go in the order of raised hands. So I think Atul came first, so Atul will present first. Atul, you can start presenting.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I can't share my screen. It's showing host disabled participant
Okay,
screen.
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, my mistake. Now you should be able to share.
Okay. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is up, visible. Okay.
Okay. So, my name is Atul Kumar. Now I am going to present my all the tasks that I have done at Agveda. Agveda has given to me. So, these are the tasks that I had been allotted. My first task was to create a doctor's appointment single page web application, and in my second task, I have been given to make a software requirement specification based on the video uh, that Hagveda has provided me. In the next task, I have been given a simple tutorials to learn JavaScript, and based on the learning I have gained, I have to create a report. So in the third task, I have created a report on JavaScript and its basic principles. And in the next task, I have been given uh, to create a sample project based on the learning I have done on JavaScript. So my first task that I have done was a doctor's appointment page, and I am going to explain about this. So, 1 second. So, and the main focus of this project is to search for doctors that are nearby a user's area and choose a appropriate doctor for an appointment as per their needs. Um, for the first step, in the first step, I have created the design for the front end of the project. I have designed the front end using Figma, and in the next step, I have converted the Figma design into code using Lokify. After that, I have installed an XAMPP, that is an open source cross platform web server solution mm, for deploying the website locally. So in the XAMPP, um, there are PHP and MySQL that I have used for deploying the project. Mhm. I have written the code for backend using PHP, and for the storing database, I have used MySQL. And after that, I have completed the project. I have tested the project using Postman to ensure its functionality. After that, I have deployed this project on 000 webhouse.com. Mm, I will so this is a screenshot of the project that I have created, and this is the second one. And the project I have deployed can be uh, the project that I have deployed is live here on this link. I will show you. 1 second. Actually, the server is slow, little, like it's taking time. But actually, yeah, it's open. So I will show you it's working. So for the reference of database, I have given a separate link, and the data I have used for the project. So there are three doctors. So mm, the first doctor I will search. So I will put here Java put NP and its specialty general team, and I will search, and it's showing the doctor based on the data I have saved. So it's working properly. So overall, the development of
Atul, I
yes
was
sir
not able to see your website.
website. So
Yeah.
actually, I sorry sir. Actually, I have said only single window of PowerPoint. So
Okay, okay. You can close the screen share and then you can again share your screen where you
yeah,
are.
yes, I will share my only screen. So now my whole screen may be busy. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Cool. So this is the front end, and now I am going. I have the data I have set on the website is is I have include a separate screenshot. So I am going to search the first data set. First doctor, it's area in Java MP and its category is general physician. So I'm location in the location MP and specialty. So it's properly giving the response based on the data. The doctor's name is Dr. Anurala, and here in the data it is also. If I wish, I can also give the second data. Its name is Connect Live. The third and psychologist. I think there is. I think there is. Sorry, we need to find this. Yes, sir, it's working on the second data as well. I don't know why it is not showing on for the third one. Maybe in a spelling error. So, mm, so after completing this project, I have learned the basics of Figma, PHP, and the designing, converting a Figma design into code using Lokify.ai. And I have also learned the developing a sample website on online server website such as 00 webhost app.com. So in the next project, I have to create a SRS document based on the detailed descriptions of the features, functionalities, and requirements of the software that were mentioned in the video that I have been provided by Hackweather. So I have created the document. It can be found here on this Google Drive file. So the steps involved in creating a service document that I have used were for in the first step I have reviewed the videos, uh, reviewed the videos and define the project scope. After that after watching every video, I have like, created the list of functional and non-functional requirements on the copy. After that, I have checked which functions are need to be prioritized and which need to be left, which are of less priority. So after that, in the after that, I have created a flowchart for the system architecture. So the flowchart is available in that report SRS document. After that, 1 second. The prioritization of the requirements based on the importance and urgency helped to determine the development order for the software. Data requirements that were identified and documented to ensure proper data storage and management. The timelines and milestones that were stabilized to keep the project on track. The prioritization of the requirements based on the importance and urgency helped to determine the development order for the software. The data requirements were identified and documented to ensure proper storage and management. I think this is I have already mentioned. In conclusion, the creation of the SRS for the project that I have given was TM Master Web Application was a crucial step towards ensuring the success of a software project. Through the by watching every video in the given video list, I was able to identify and document all the necessary functional and non-functional requirement that the software need. After that, my next task was to learn the basics of JavaScript and its core principles. After that, the knowledge I have gained, I have to create a report for the for the things I have learned. So basically, JavaScript is a scripting or program is a scripting language, or we can say directly a programming language that allows you to implement complex features on web pages, such as such as mathematical calculations, animations, or making dynamic web pages. And displaying the static information for you to JavaScript can also be used for CSS to do some complex to make some complex animations. So in the next in the for the in the first step, I have started learning about data types. So JavaScript has eight types of data types that are string, number, begin, boolean, undefined, null, symbol, and object. So basically, data types are kind of data that basically data types are for storing data that can be manipulated within a program. So there are six basic data types in JavaScript, which can be divided into three different categories. The first type of data types are primitive, or we can say primary data types, and the second type data types are composite, and the last or the third type of data types are string, number, and boolean. String and number. And so boolean are primitive data types. Primitive data types, object, array, and function, which are composite data types, whereas undefined and null are special data types. Primitive data types can hold only one value at a time, while composite data types can hold collections of values and more complex entities. So JavaScript. So the next topic is JavaScript variable. In JavaScript, variables are used to hold data values. This serve as short-term storage for values that program can change. Programming requires the usage of variables because they enable the dynamic manipulation of data. JavaScript variables can be stored in the any form of data because they are dynamic. Variables can also be used for creating new rules while the program is running, giving it flexibility. Variable declaration and initialization and usage are uh, crucial skills in JavaScript. There are four ways to declare a JavaScript variable. The first type is using where keyword, and the second type is using let keyword, and the third type is using const in the final. In JavaScript, a variable can be declared using where, let, and const keyword that I already mentioned. So basically, where keyword is used to declare variables since JavaScript was created. In the variable declaration using where keyword was confusing and wrong. So so when using variables, variable declared using where. After that, the let keyword was introduced. So let keyword introduced, and that removes the confusion and error of where. It is the new and recommended way of declaring variables in JavaScript. Constant keyword is used for declaring constant variables that we are not going to change, or that we are not going to change in the program once we have assigned one value that value. So the next topic is JavaScript operator. JavaScript operators are used for doing mathematical calculations on operands, and these are symbols that are used to manipulate a certain value or operand. Operators are used for performing specific mathematical or logical computations on operands. Um, in other words, an operator operates the operand. In JavaScript, operators are used for comparing values, perform arithmetic operations, etc. JavaScript operators, there are various operators supported by JavaScript, and few of them are. There are 6 types of JavaScript operators. The first type, arithmetic operators. The second type is assignment operators, and third type is comparison operators. In the same way, there are 3 other types: logical and type of operator. So these are the operators that operate upon the numerical values and return a numerical value that we can use in a JavaScript program. The first operator is addition, that we use for adding 2 operands that are numerical. And this and there is also subtraction operator, and that is same as uh, addition operator. And multiplication do multiplication operator does multiplication of 2 operands, and division do the division of 2 operands. The modulus operator gives us the remainder after we divide a integer operator by the second integer operand. The exponentiation operator is used for calculating power of the first operator raised to the second operator. There are also increment and decrement operators that we can use for an operand to increase an integer value by 1, or decrement the value by 1. Unary operator is the fastest way of converting something into a number. Negation is and the next operator is negation operator that we use for negotiating the value of an operand. Suppose if a value is true, we can, using the negation operator, we can convert it into false. So the conclusion, at the end of I have watched, I read and watched all the tutorials that I have been provided by Equeda for JavaScript. And after watching the video and the tutorial, I have learned about data types, variables, and loops in the JavaScript programming language. As well, I also did some practical coding in JavaScript to understand the working functionality of JavaScript. In the next task, I have been told to create a sample project using the knowledge I have gained. So I have created a calculator. As part of, as I have been told, I developed a sample calculator have to showcase my skills. And the calculator is the app is built using HTML, CSS, and basic JavaScript that utilizes local storage, and I have also deployed it on Netlify. The app is a basic demonstration of web development ability and calculating mathematical expressions. So HTML code is used for creating front-end, such as header section and input field for adding new expression and operators. And I have designed the front-end using CSS code. And for the logic, I have used JavaScript. This is the screenshot that of the calculator that I have created. So so at the end, this is a basic yet functional calculator application that can be expanded to a more advanced calculator that can be customized for meeting different requirements. With further development and customization, this code can be used as a starting point, create more complex and advanced calculator. Overall, I found the calculator have to be a valuable tool for managing my tasks uh, and staying organized with a few additional features. If we add a few more additional features, it has the potential to become even more useful for a wider range of users. Thank you, sir. So, any question? Sir, one second. Let me show you the demo for the calculator. So, one second. So, sir, this is a calculator that I have created. It's working properly. So, I am adding 10 plus 20, and 10 plus 20, it is given 30. So, basically, it's working properly. I have also deployed it on Netlify. I will show you. Yeah, actually, I changed the design. And yeah, it's giving a correct result. So, yes, sir, I have done. If you have any question, you can ask.
Atul,
Yes, sir.
there are a lot of things that you need to improve on. This was your first time giving your presentations, correct?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay, so I'll give you points. Okay, just note these points down. Improve on these points. Okay.
one, just 10
You
seconds.
don't have to worry about it. You'll get an email about when you'll get your scores now. You'll get a review. Under that, there'll be the points that I'm telling you right now. Okay,
Yes.
you don't have to write. Okay. So
Okay.
firstly, communication flow can be improved, Atul. You were scared. I don't know what it was. You were scared or you didn't memorize it well because you don't have to memorize any PPTs. But I think you were scared to give out the presentation. That's why you were getting stammered. You were
Sir,
stumbling.
actually, I'm not in heavy talk. Such I am giving 40%. I have.
Okay. I understand. It's fine, Atul. For the first time, it is fine. Okay. So next time, try to be more confident. Okay. That will
Yes.
help your presentation.
Okay.
Secondly, let's go one by one. Firstly, let's go to doctor's appointment page. Uh,
Yes.
so for the doctor's appointment page, you could have made a story where a doctor wanted a requirement for these things, and you made a website for them. A
Yes.
short story. This will do wonders for the presentation. As once you create a story, people will be able to relate, and it will set an example as to why whatever you have made, why the presentations that you have made is useful. So if you give me a scenario or an example in real life why it is useful, the presentation that you have made, then it will create value to your presentation. Okay, it will add value. So try to put a small story, a small example, a small life example in every of your presentations. Okay.
Okay. Sir.
Next, you don't have any, so you put the question answer slides at the end. Okay. Try to put the question and answer slides after each presentation. Okay. So each presentation should contain a question answer slide. For this time,
Oh,
it is fine that you've put it at the end because you had given so many presentations. But for next time, remember, try to put it in each of the topics. Okay.
okay. Sir.
Then add a reference slide. So all of this information that you have taken, it has come from somewhere, correct? On the net you have searched or any book that you have looked up. So that
Yeah.
reference needs to be added here. Okay.
Okay. Sir.
After every question answer slide or whatever, at the end you need to add a reference. Thirdly, working codes needs to be explained. So while you're giving out a demo, so for the doctor's appointment website, you
Yes.
have given a demo, correct? While
Yes.
giving out the demo, you could have told that I have used this PHP module functionality. This PHP functionality is doing this. Once I write, this is happening, and I can create a get request. I can create a post request. These things you can explain while giving the demo itself. You don't have to go to the source codes, and you don't have to show the source code. That is fine. You can just give me a glimpse of 2-3 seconds. Yeah, these are the source codes as I have explained on the front end, that this does this does this does this. This is fine. Okay, you can do this. Okay. And
Yes.
lastly, I'll ask you a question on your because uh, there are marks for question answers. So as people have not asked any questions, I'll ask you a question. You might have used a jQuery for connecting the front end, for connecting the server and the backend, correct?
Sir, in the first project.
Yeah, in the first project itself.
Yes.
So which jQuery command did you use?
Sir, command actually, I generated the code using Lokify.ai.
Okay, that is fine. You had to extract the database. So you have created a database on SQL, correct? But that database needs to connect with the backend, correct? To get the
Yes,
results. For that, a jQuery is used. So which
sir.
jQuery have you used?
No, sir. Actually, it's a simple single page, single file, HTML file, in which the content is the whole
I
content.
understand everything. I have also
Yes,
made this. That's why I'm asking.
yes.
Uh, there's a jQuery used normally, Atul. You can look
Yes,
up in your code.
there is no
Uh,
J. I think. Yes, sir. And this is the project. There
Go
is
into your web service one.
web server. Sir, what?
Web service one. Uh, PHP file web service one. Yes. Open it up.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
So here you have not used any jQuery, you're saying, correct?
Yes. No, actually, it's a simple.
I
It's
understand.
directly connected to its single HTML
Okay.
file.
Okay. It's fine then. Scroll upward.
Actually, let me
Scroll
show
up.
you the
Okay.
front end part.
No. I don't need to see the front end part.
Yes. Uh,
I just wanted
these
to
are
see the
the
code.
these are the variables for connecting to the database.
These are the variables for the yes, new source field, yes, correct. Yes. Okay, that is fine. So
Yes.
we are done with doctor's appointment. Next, for your SRS document. So Pratik, how the SRS document has been circulated in the organization, I need a flowchart of that. Okay.
Yes.
If there's a flowchart for explaining how the document is circulated, how it gets to the backend team, then it is much more beneficial. Secondly, you need a lot more. You need to explain what is an SRS document. You went straight ahead to how to make an SRS document, but you need to answer three things. That is what, when, and why. What is an SRS document? When is it used, and why is it used? Okay, these three
Yes.
questions needs to be answered for every topic. Okay,
Yeah.
and again, you were missing a story, a reference slide, and a question answer slide. That is, you have already understood that you have to include all those. So, if I go for the SRS document, you haven't showed me your SRS document.
Sir, actually, I am given a let me one.
Yeah, so for the next time, do remember that in the demo itself, you have to show your work as well. You have shown me doctor's website. You had to show your SRS document as well. Okay.
Sir, actually, I have created and I have given the link. Let
Yeah,
me
I
show.
understand you have given the link. But
Yes.
right now, as a presentator,
Yes.
you are the presentator, correct? As a presentator, you should be able to show me that this is the document and then explain me a little about your SRS document, because I know what is an SRS document. A lot of people know what is an SRS document. You were given the
Yes.
task so as to let people know what is an SRS document, what, when, why, and then a demo about your SRS document that you had created. That I wanted. Okay, that is fine.
Yes.
Now I'll ask a simple question from you. So who takes
Yes.
the SRS document from the customer?
Sir, the clients asks to a software development company what things they want in their product. And based on that, before creating the software, the product company designs a SR document. After that, they start working on development of that product.
Okay, okay, understood. And lastly, for your intro to JavaScript and core principles, so you had a lot of content in paragraphs on the slide. That should not be happening. Okay, try to
Yes,
summarize them into key points, and then those key points needs to be explained while giving presentations. Okay, you must have seen keynotes for from big companies, presentations from big companies, mobile phone launches. They don't stock up the whole presentation with words or paragraphs. They just keep the keywords and then they explain all those keywords themselves, correct? So
yes,
I need you to do the same. You can do it. You have the capability. I've seen that you are a hard worker. You have done all your tasks, so you can do it. Okay, don't worry about it. And next, your PPT formatting requires some work. So lines were not aligned well and all those things. These are some minor queries. Okay, so you can sort those out very quickly.
okay,
Uh, then, while explaining the core principles of JavaScript, so for the loops and arithmetic operations and all those things, you had to give me dry codes and examples. So after every function, you can give a dry code of that function and an example of that function. One dry code and one example. So
yes,
people who are sitting and listening to you, they'll understand how that function can be used in a code. Okay,
yes,
that is all. Then again, no reference, no story, no question answer. That you have got already, right?
yes, yes.
So these are some minor grievances that I have. Get them solved for the next presentation. Okay, all the best.
Thank you, sir. Sir, may I stop
Yeah,
sharing
yeah, you
this?
can stop your screen sharing. Kaushik
Sir,
Yadav. Yeah.
sir, I need to share my details.
You can share your this email ID in the chat itself. Okay. So everyone who is listening, share your email IDs in the chat itself from now onwards after you finish your presentation. Okay.
Okay.
Kaushik Yadav, you can start your presentation. Kaushik, what happened? Kaushik, your mic is not working. So even if you're giving the presentation, your mic is still, we are not able to. Try to speak it again. Try to get your mic sorted on. You cannot give your presentation without the mic. Mhm. Man, I cannot hear you. Okay, Kaushik, do one thing. Get your mic sorted, okay? We'll move on to the next presenter. You can stop presenting, Kaushik. Get your mic sorted, man, because I cannot take your presentations without your mic. Okay. Next, we'll move on to Atul Kumar. Wait, Atul Kumar is already done, right? Okay. We'll move on to Rishav. Rishav, you can unmute yourself now.
Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, you can start your presentation.
In my screen visible.
Yes, it is.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rishav Kumar. I have been intern as a full stack developer in Hackbera Private Limited since 16th January. And my thanks to Director Devendra Sukla sir for giving me opportunity and my full stack developer mentor, Yes Chandra Patia sir. So in the journey of 4 months, we have been given tasks. First task was doctor's appointment, single web page, and second was doctor SRS, how to make SRS and what is the SRS, and we have been given the playlist and we have to make the SRS. And after making the SRS, we have to learn the JavaScript and its code. And after learning, we have to make a simple hosting website. So for practice purpose, we have been given a task to make a calculator. And after that, I have made a portfolio website for myself and as a task given. So first is the doctor's appointment page. So for website for the doctor's appointment page, the project's main focus is to search for doctor nearby the user's area and to the appropriate doctor for an appointment as per their needs. And as an individual working on the TM Master Web Application project, I have utilized various skills to develop the web application. These include HTML, CSS, JavaScript as a web development tool, and such as I have used Figma. Firstly, I have to make a design, whole design in the Figma site, and after making it in the Figma site, after making this design in the Figma site. Then after that, I have to convert the Figma design into HTML, CSS code using the locopy.ai that I can find in the Figma site itself. Then after getting the front end part, I have to connect it in the to the with the database, MySQL database that I have used. And for the connection purpose, I have used PHP. And for the hosting purpose, I have use 000 webhost.app, and this is the free hosting site. And after that, for the and when the connection was successful for testing purpose for data entry, Postman was used. And then this is my link. This is my screenshot of my project. Actually, the project that I have hosted, the backend is not working still, but this is how my front end work looks. And then after that, the overall conclusion of the doctor's appointment page was the development of doctor's appointment page region is to learn the basic development tool like VS Code, Figma, locopy.ai, and the development tools like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then for connecting the backend, we have used PHP language, and for the database, we have used MySQL. So through the journey, I have learned these things. And then after that, the second task that I have been assigned was SRS, System Requirement Specification. Actually, the SRS provide a detailed description of the feature, functionality, and requirement of the software. And it serves as a blueprint for the development team to follow during the software development process. So the SRS ensures that the web application meet the clinic need. Actually, we have to make the SRS for the clinic purpose. And in the playlist video, everything was given that what we have to add and how it, not how, what we have to add and all the things that should be added or modified in the website or some website or in the project. It explained in the playlist. So after looking at the playlist, I have to make a full SRS document. So in my project, SRS document ensures that the web application meet the clinic needs and will be a valuable resource for the future maintenance and update. The review of discussion playlist help to define the scope of the project TM Web master web application. And then the prioritization of the requirement based on the importance and urgency help to determine the development order for the software. The data requirement were identified and documented to ensure proper data storage and management. And after that, the a step that is involved to creating a SRS document. The step one was to review the discuss video playlist, go through the full playlist and look externally what are in the whatever it is showing. Then after that, define the project scope, then identify the stakeholder. These things are the explained in the video playlist. To the video playlist, I can get and see and look and modify and can get how the perfect SRS can be made. Then after that, in the step 4, we have to we have to make a notes and list the functional and non-functional requirement and then set the priority of the requirement. Then after that, as in the next step, we have to make a create a system architecture. Then then after that, I defined a data requirement. What are the data requirement like for the taking the blood group? It should be A positive or something to make the requirement satisfied. And for the like female for the drinking purpose, it asks the through the SRS question. It is said that it asks the question like when you drink or what type of drinking you do. And for female, for especially for the female, for the menstruation period and how it is going. So for all things, we have to define the data requirement. And after testing, after getting the data requirement, it is a testing requirement. So, and then the project timeline. Then after all things is done, we have to finally review and refine the SRA document. Then the SRA document is finally completed. So in the conclusion, that creation of the SRA document for project team web application was crucial step towards ensuring the success of the project. Through the review of discussion of the video playlist, I was able to identify document of all the necessary functional and non-functional requirement that can be used in the software. So this is the link of the SRS document. This is my SRS document. Here all the things according to the playlist I have made, and this is a simple flow chart. So coming to the next, this is my posted this one first website. Then after that, coming to the next task, the next task was introduction to web. It was to learn the JavaScript concept and the JavaScript concept basic to medium level, like fundamentals of data types, variables, operator, and also the loops. And so basically, what is the JavaScript? JavaScript is the most popular lightweighted interpreted compiled programming language. It can be used for client side as well as the server side development. JavaScript is also known as a scripting language for web pages. And JavaScript is used for? mainly JavaScript is programming language that can be used for creating interactive websites, and then after that building applications, then web servers, then it is also used in the game development. And how to add the JavaScript file in the HTML file, JavaScript code. So there are two ways. Firstly, internal JavaScript and then the external JavaScript. For the internal JavaScript, we add the JavaScript code directly to our HTML file by writing inside in the script tag, and and then and for the external JavaScript, we create the file with an extension .js extension and paste the JS code inside of it. And after creating the file, this file is in a script tag, and then we have to import this .js file into our HTML file. Then after that, type definitions in JavaScript. So firstly, the first type definition is undefined. If variable exists but it is not defined, then it is categorized as undefined. Then it comes null. It means the variable exists but it is not implicit set, and it comes under null category. Then it is Boolean, like true and false. Then it is number, like integer data type or floating data type or double data type. Then it comes a string that is used to define the string value of a character. Then it comes the symbol. And after doing that, there is a simple project to make a calculator, and this is that I have made, and I have posted it here. Let me show you the calculator also. It is basically a simple posted. So this is a simple project that I made after learning the JavaScript. Then the conclusion that I have made after learning the JavaScript. In the conclusion, this is a basic yet functional calculator application that can be expanded and customized to meet different requirements. And with further development and customization, this code can be used as a starting point to create more complex and advanced calculator applications. Overall, I found calculator app to be a valuable tool for managing my task and staying organized. With a few additional features, it has the potential to become even more useful for a wider range of users. This conclusion is the scope of the calculator app. And the thing that I have learned is how to make and deploy a very good calculator. And after that comes my portfolio website. This is done using React and CSS. And firstly, what is the portfolio website? I have done using React app. It is a personal and professional project for learning React.js and applications for a wider range with more dependency and plugins like Framer, Motion, Yarn, and email.js. This project main focus is to elaborate on your personal and professional skills. Portfolio website project runs on a local server as well as online deployed on Netlify platform. And email.js help us to connect anybody from my website. And then there is a Framer Motion. And this is my a screenshot of my portfolio website, and this is my link. And that's all from my side, sir. Thank you, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes, Rishav. I think this is also your first time giving presentation.
Yes, sir.
Is this the first time you're giving your presentations today?
Yes, sir. This is my first time.
Okay. Okay. So I'll give you some points. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And did you? So let's go over some points. Okay. So for the doctor's appointment webpage, Rishabh, always in your presentations, you had a good slide in the first explaining who were your mentors, what is your name, what is your badge. That is a good etiquette that needs to be followed. So that was fine. But I need you to, with this slide, at the end, I need you to include question answer slide, a reference slide, uh, and an end slide where you'll give your contact information. So it
Okay,
might be your number, it might be your Gmail ID, it can be anything where people can contact you. On this thank you slide itself, you can put your contact information. Okay.
okay, sir.
These things needs to be included in every presentation that you give. A reference slide, a question answer slide, and an end slide. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now that these are out of the ways, let's go for the formatting of the PPT. So the formatting of the PPT needs to be consistent. So if you're using one type of slide in your presentation, try to use that. Try to continue using that kind of present slide. So if you go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Here, click on the 22nd slide and 23rd slide. Yes. 22nd slide is this, 23rd slide is this. Then again on 24th slide is next. See, this kind of,
Okay.
you see, there's some discrepancy. The
Hmm.
type of slide, there's no consistency to it. So it loses some consistency. Okay. So that is
Okay.
fine. These are some minor queries that you can solve in a gist. Okay. You can
Hmm.
just solve them in 2-3 minutes. But thirdly, your flow of the presentation was good. You were confident, which I liked the most because this was your first time. It was good for your first time. Okay. Now, if I ask you a question about a doctor's website,
Yes, sir.
so which you have made it on the front end part, you have made it on a software, correct? You use
Yes, sir.
Locofy. What will happen if I use Anima?
What will happen if we
If I
use
use Anima for the front
anima?
end,
Sir,
do you know Anima?
sir, I don't know. I have used the local sir. Actually, I have made in the Figma part, Figma side, and
Yes,
after making it the front end in the Figma side,
yes, yes,
I have used the loco.py to
yes, yes, yes.
export the.
Okay. So Locofy is used because it gives the user free extraction of the front end codes,
Yes, sir.
correct?
Yes.
But Anima is used for the same. Locofy is used to give the website a dynamic look. So you can add animations, you can add different designs, you can add things. Locofy gives you that ability. Anima does the same, but with an amount. So you have to pay an amount. That was what I was asking. It is fine if you were not aware. That is fine.
Okay, sir.
Now, let us come to your SRS. Firstly, you need to answer whenever you're trying to explain something, you need to answer three questions. That is what, why, and when. So these three questions needs to be answered, which I feel were not answered in your SRS document. Okay. Even
Okay,
though
sir.
you did talk about SRS document a little bit, but that talking was done on the basis of what resources you got for the SRS document, correct?
Yes, sir.
That I got this application, and in that application, everything was given, and these were the things that were written down that I had to
Yes.
take from, and I had to make an SRS document out of those things. You don't need to tell anything about your resources, okay? You just need to tell me what is an SRS document, why is it used, and when is it used.
Okay.
Okay. So these things needs to be answered. Then same, I'll not go over again the question answer slide, the reference slide. These you already know that you have to include. Then
Yes.
the demo of the SRA needs to be explained a little bit. You just glossed over it very fast. It was just there for 2-3 seconds. So your main highlight of your presentation is your demo. Why? Because on the demo itself, you've put countless hours. Correct. That is your work. That is not something that you've taken from somewhere. That is your work, and you have to present it taking some time. So demo needs to be presented well. Okay. And while giving out a demo, you can explain. So for SRS, there was no backend codes, but for doctor's website, while giving out the demo, you could just explain what is going on in the backend, what is going on in the source code. That is, if you use PHP, if you use SQL codes, that if I click on this, this is going to happen in the PHP code. This functionality I've used in the PHP code. So on while giving out the demo, you can explain me those things in the source codes on the front end itself, on the website itself. You don't have to go to the source code.
Okay.
Thirdly, your introduction to JavaScript and its core principles. So you told us about the JavaScript, what is JavaScript, what but I think the main point was missing, that you did not gloss over the core principles of the JavaScript. So you don't go over operators, you did not go over any loops, you did not go over any variables. What are variables? There are three types of variables: const, let, and
Yes, sir.
var. Yeah, when those three types of variables are used for different conditions, const variable is used for different condition, and then these you can elaborate on those, because those core principles are very much important. Because now, without explaining those core principles, if you show me the demo, then it gives off an impression that you have just glossed over the core principles, and you might have copied the work because you have not paid attention to these core principles. Okay, so these
Okay.
core principles needs to be explained a little. Secondly, the calculator part was done well. The calculator was fine. It was a good calculator that you made. Okay, the functionality was fine. You could just can you just tell me one question's answer? Which loops
Yes.
did you use for the calculator?
Which loops?
Yes. So there are many
Sir,
types of looping loops,
yes, a
correct?
foreign
For
loop,
loop.
for while loop.
Yes. So you use
So
for in and for while. For in is
sir, foreign loop, sir.
for loop you have used.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. That is fine. Now these lastly, what was your topic? Portfolio website, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in this portfolio website, start by telling me what is React. Okay. How that React, how did you use React to make up your website? What all functionalities of React and what all codes of React did you use to make up your portfolio? Okay. Because it is fine that you have showed your portfolio. It is fine. But your portfolio is the fruition of your code. So those codes needs to be what do I say? Those codes needs to be highlighted, that these, because you have done work on them, correct? So those needs to
Yes,
be
sir.
highlighted. So these are the codes that I've done. So these are some feedback that you can work on, and let's hope that your next presentations are going to be good.
Yes, sir. For next presentation, I will add reference question answer and will prepare very well.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that is good,
Thank,
Rishabh. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Can I answer?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can stop your screen sharing. You can
Okay, sir.
lower your hand. We'll go over to Kaushik again. Kaushik, is your mic problem solved? No, I don't think it is solved. Try to get the earphones out, man. Try to use the webcam of your PC, or uh, uh, disconnect the earphones and then try again. It is still not working. Man, try to join from your mobile. Okay, next time, join from your mobile, and your mobile will record the audio, and you can present through your video. You'll have two accounts there. Okay, I'll give you time to do that. Okay, I'll go over to the next guy. No, Kaushik, I think it is still, we are still not hearing you. Try to join with your mobile, okay, ma'am? When you join with your mobile, your audio will be audible, and you present through your PC as well. There will be two accounts through which you will be joining, okay? I'll give you time. Until then, try to solve it. Next, we'll go to Nishant.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, Nishant. You
Yeah,
can
just a
start
second.
with your presentation.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm Nishant, and I'm from the Cloud Computing Group. And my task name was to set up an Amazon email service, which is Amazon SES. So, here are the table of contents for this presentation. So, moving on. So, what is Amazon AWS SES? Amazon SES is a cloud email service provider that can integrate into any application for bulk email sending. Whether you send a transactional or a marketing email, you pay only for what you use. Amazon SES also supports a variety of deployments including dedicated, shared, or owned IP address. Reports on sender statistics and deliverability dashboard helps make business grow. And as each email counts for the business, so Amazon SEA supports all industry authentication mechanisms. So here are the list for various mechanisms, which are DKIM, SPF, and DMARC. So moving on to the next slide. So what are the advantages of SES? So SES has an easy interface. It is scalable. It has a no capex model. So the next advantage is feedback loops, automatic filtration, and compliance with SMTP protocol. So how does SES differ from any other email service provider? So Amazon SES is a product that sends bulk emails, and it uses pay-as-you-go pricing model. So, and it integrates with any other email AWS service that you use. So Amazon SES can be used as a standalone service, but it is especially useful for those you are already those services you are already using on AWS, such as databases and analytics. SES is not a replacement for your business email or service provider. SES is only used to push messages to the recipients, and there is no support for receiving email. So this makes SES suitable for distributing newsletters, sales promotion, content, or other material sent to the large number of recipients. So there are multiple ways to send messages through AWS SES. The service provides SMTP endpoints, so applications that work with SMTP should work with SES. Alternatively, users can also use the SES API. So moving on. So the task objectives were to create, validate an identity with email ID and a domain, and to learn about AWS SES service, and to get more insights in order to manage cloud infrastructure for Hackweather. So now I'll show you the demonstration of my task. So I've logged into my console, and I have created and verified my email ID, as you can see over here. So here is my verified email ID. Now I will show you by sending a test email. So here the from address is my verified email ID, and I will choose a custom email. So here I will enter my own email address. You can enter any email address that you want. So I can put anything as my subject, and just, and as we get a lot of emails, as taking an example of Hackweather, as we get daily emails from Hackweather, we can page those emails and send it to multiple users at the same time. Just we have to add the email IDs over here. So I will add this and send this email to this. The email is sent. I will go to my inbox. And here you can see the email is received. So like I've verified an email ID here, you can also verify a domain name like Hackweather. Just a second. So here it is showing unverified, as I have no access for the DNS policy of Hackweather. So here we get C names that you can easily add to the website's DNS server. So you can copy these 3 C names, and for example, I have used your Cloudflare, and you can add these C names, and you can easily send bulk emails to the users. For example, we as interns receive these emails. So we can send these emails to all the users at the same time. So moving on. So thus we have successfully used Amazon SES service for sending bulk emails. And here are the references for my presentation. So thank you. Any questions?
So Nishant, can you go to the topic again? Topic slide. Yeah, the topic slide. Can you go to? Okay, set up Amazon simple email service. Yeah. So firstly, Nishant, you have components of SES that is on the fourth slide, correct? You glossed over them very fast. You could have explained all those components and it would have made your presentation way better than it is right now. Because I thought you were running at some point. Because you say moving on, moving on, moving. It made it look that you were wanted to finish this presentation. So try to avoid that because it will only create a negative impact of your flow that you're giving. So your flow was good, but because you said moving on, and you were trying to avoid explaining things, it created a negative impact out of it. So secondly, the points that you had given in the fifth, sixth slides, try to summarize those points because yeah, in these slides, the third slide, fifth slide, because these would not look good in any day. So if this would have been a school presentation, this would have got you scored, but in professional presentations, this would not help. So if you would have just kept
bullet points.
Yeah, bullet points or key points, whatever is necessary, get it into a normal 1-2 points. So for me, how does SES differ from normal email services? This illustration that you have provided, this would have done wonders. If you could have just explained these illustrations, it would have done wonders. You didn't need to put anything out of that illustration. Okay. So these are the things that you need to improve on. And thirdly, try to put up a story, man, whenever you start presentation. A clever real life story would make your presentations more productive for the new interns.
So as I said, like hack with the taking an example of hack
Yeah.
with the limited.
Yeah. You gave the examples, correct? Yeah, it can be considered as a story as well. Okay, that is fine. Leave the story part behind. Everything else that I've told you, try to work on that because the key points that this fifth slide will get you to lose points in the PPT section as well because the formatting is all over the place, correct? So these needs to be improved. Else, rather than these things, your flow was very good. You had confidence in your presentations, and you knew what you were telling. And your demo was also fine. You can improve on your demo because the demo was given. It was given for So while giving out a demo, you did not plan how you'll give the demo before the presentation. I think that is how I felt. So if you would have planned, there'll be an order to the demo. There'll be chronological steps that I have to go there, then I have to do this, I have to do this. In your mind, it will be always be there once you are prepared for your presentation. But I think today you did not prepare for the presentation. The demo was all over the place. That is what I felt. Even if that is not the case, the presenters should be able to present their demos in such a way that the people should not feel the things are going all over the place. Okay. Thank you, Nishant. Overall, the presentation was good. These are some small points that you need to improve on. Then your presentation will be excellent.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll try to talk to Kaushik again. Kaushik, is your mic problem solved? And then if it is not getting solved, then come tomorrow. Okay. it is gonna make things difficult for me and you as well. Yeah, I'm not able to hear anything, Kaushik. Yeah. It's fine, man. Try to sort things out. Come tomorrow. Uh, still not here. Still not able to hear you. It's fine. I'll talk to you at the end if you want to stay or come tomorrow. I'll take your presentations tomorrow. Okay. Next, we have Divyansh. Divyansh Nirman. Can you unmute yourself now?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. You can start your presentation.
On the screen, can you confirm that? Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Can you confirm that?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Everything is visible. Yeah. You can start.
Good evening, everyone. Just a second. Is this dialog box visible?
Yes, it is.
Hello?
It is visible.
This is visible.
Yeah, it is
Speaker
visible.
notes.
Yeah, see, everything you need to know is visible. Your presentation is visible. What do you
These
want
speaker
to show?
notes.
No, notes
the-
are not visible, but your presentation is visible.
Okay, sir. So I will start with start with the title, Teredata SQL. This presentation will be delivered by me, Divyansh. I'm working as a cloud intern at Hackweather. Next to the introduction. So first of all, I would like to introduce what is Teredata SQL. This presentation will be talking about it. It's a powerful and reliable SQL software which uses SQL query language, structured query language, which is generally used to manipulate large amounts of data because it's stored. So uh, it's about very it's used to manipulate terabits of data at once because and the processing power of the software that uses this is in terabits and what is Teradata SQL? It is essential resource for anyone looking to increase their so this presentation will be talking about what Teradata SQL will be. Next to it is so this is it. So Teradata SQL is an open source database management system for developing large scale data warehouse application. These tools provide support for multiple data warehouse operations simultaneously using the concept of parallelism. Teradata is a massively open processing system that supports Unix, Linux, Windows servers, platforms. It is a software developed by Teradata Corporation, which is an American IT firm. It is a vendor of analytics, data platforms, applications, and other related services. So it is a powerful and secure engine, can be used worldwide to store and manage large data sets, allowing for powerful data analysis and insights. So it's a relational database management system. So what is relational database management system? It's a system it's used to manipulate different kinds of tables and schemas available to us in Teradata. So it is managed to access highly accessed data. IDBMS is used to access highly accessed data. It used to provide us an organized structure to save and store data, along with creating an easier way of retrieving and processing that information. And it also provides us with the security and control flow system in Teradata database. So it's a type of software that used to manipulate and get our query solved over the data types that is available, like tables and the data entries on in the tuples as well. Next to it is what is the basis of the Teradata SQL? What model does it uses? So it uses a paralegal model system. It's a unique approach which takes the legal understanding of by the professionals and use it to analyze the data and provide the technical programming exception to it. So with this model, it provides an effective and efficient work with their data, which minimizes the complexity of data and which also ensures accuracy and legal compliances. So basic question is what is SQL? So SQL is just a query language which help users to securely and accurately analyze their data while complying with legal and regulatory standards. So it makes it easier to access data, identify trends, and share the findings with the relevant stakeholders. All the benefits can be done with simple commands, which is used to optimize the workflow and users and allows the user to focus on only the insights which are drawn from the data and uh, ignore the rest of the unnecessary parts. So we will now discuss about one by one the features of Teradata SQL. So first of all is linear scalability. It offers linear scalability which deals with large volume of data by adding nodes to increase the performance of the system. So we generally add nodes to by adding different kinds of data and connecting each other with them, connecting different types of data in a single unit. Maybe called as encapsulation. Can call as encapsulation. And second feature is unlimited parallelism. It's Teradata is based on MPP, which stands for Massively Parallel Processing Architecture. So it is designed to be a parallel since from the beginning. It can divide a large task into smaller tasks and run them simultaneously in parallel at the background. So multiple tasks could be done at once. Next is Mature Optimizer. Teradata Optimizer can handle up to 64 joins or joins in a query. So join is a type of a query in which we join two types of tables. So it could handle up to 64 joins. Next is low TCO. Teradata has a total low cost of ownership and it is easy to set up, maintain, and administrate. Another features are like load and unload utilities. So Teradata provides loads and unload utilities to move data into from Teradata system. So you could easily load and unload the data from the system. Next is connectivity. It provides a channel attached system like a mainframe or network attached system. So the connectivity is it could easily access the network from the network related stuffs like drawing the tables and anything from the internet as well is also possible in Teradata. So Teradata is the basic is SQL. It provides its extension with the support of all the SQL related queries. So, and the data stored in the tables. Robust utilities. Teradata provides robust utilities to import, export data from Teradata systems like fast export, fast load, multi-load, and TPT. So we could fast export and fast load and multi-load with by connecting to the Teradata and importing the files from those kinds of softwares. Automatic distribution. Teradata can distribute the data to the disk automatically without manual interventions. So it could be automatically set up to do the task without any human interventions. So now I will to explain about how the architecture works. So the Teradata SQL mostly contain three important components to it. Like first layer is parsing engine, second is Binet, and third is AMPS, which stands for Access Model Processors. So the engine parses the queries and prepares the execution plan. It manages sessions for users. It optimizes and sends a request to the users. So when the client executes queries for inserting records, parsing engines sends the records to the message parsing layer, and message passing layers or Binet is a software and hardware component. It offers network compatibility. It also retrieves the data and sends the row to the target AMP. So it basically divides the task into various kinds of AMPs, which stands for Access Module Processor, which stores records of this disk. So AMP conducts following activities. This includes like managing a portion of the database, managing a portion of each table, perform all the tasks associated with generating results set such as sort, aggregation, and join, and perform block and space management. The next is Teradata retrieval architecture and how does the data is retrieved. When the clients run queries to retrieve records, the parsing engine sends a request to Binet. So Binet request receives the request, and then the Binet sends the retrieval request to appropriate EMPs. We search their disk and in parallel and recognize the required records and send them to Binet. And then it goes back to the parsing engine, which in turn will send it to the client. Next is so how it is different from different kinds of other RDBMS. So this table will demonstrate what is the difference between Teradata and different kinds of RDBMS. So the architecture that Teradata follows is a shared nothing architecture, whereas RDBMS shared everything is concentrated in a single database. The processes are millions of instructions per second. Teradata could handle, while RDBMS could handle just only thousands of instructions. It is better at indexing and retrieval. RDBMS, on the other hand, offers only FASI retrievals. Parallelism supports unconditional parallelism. So it is easy to just do millions of data transfer and computation because parallelism is inbuilt in them, and the parallelism is conditional and unpredictable in different RDBMS. Bulk load Teradata allows for much larger bulk load. It could easily be linearly scalable with slope of 1, whereas RDBMS has a diminishing return. Data buffer, a single data buffer used all by UOPs, a unit of parallelism. A single UOP is used, whereas in RDBMS, query controller ships function that owns the data. So only that owns the data that could run the functions. And as I've told, that it stores terabytes of rows. It could manipulate over terabytes of rows, whereas only millions of rows is possible for general RDBMS. Next is so what are the key takeaways from this presentation? So Teradata is an open source database management system for developing large scale database warehouse application. So it basically deals with the large scale of data, which are required for large scale organizations. It's a full suite of services which focuses on data warehousing. Teradata offers linear scalability when dealing with large volumes of data by adding the nodes to increase the performance of the system. It provides a complete range of suites to meet the data house warehousing, and it's used mainly for supply chain and master data management or demand chain management. So next is these are the references, materials that was available for me and where I picked the information. So I would like to ask any questions. And this is my contact details for further elaboration. Thank you.
Okay, Divyansh. So the presentation was fine. The flow was okay. You did not lose any points. You had the points in keywords so that you could explain that. That is all fine. But every information that you delivered, it could be delivered more clearly. So you went technical with it, but you could have given examples with those uh, technical explanation. So if there is a technical guy, so because I am a technical guy, I understand things that you guys are telling me. But there are many more interns sitting here who don't understand these technical terms. And these presentations are scheduled in such a way that those interns also learn something from the presentations that you guys are getting. Okay. So from the next presentations onwards, I want you, for any technical term that you're telling or please try to give an example, a clever example that will make it more easable and accessible for people to understand. Yeah, this technical term means this. Technical term might do this and all that.
So,
Yeah, you can
it
say.
will be difficult for me to explain every these types of technical terms that like parsing engine. It's a very broad topic. So if I went on to explaining everything in detail, then it will take
No,
more
no,
than an hour
not
of
not
presentation.
in detail, I'm telling. See, so you could compare this process to any other process. I'm not telling that you need to do it for every part. Some parts are difficult. So like this Teradata architecture is an important part that needs for some that needs to that needs to be explained with some examples. I'm not telling before these. Try to go to before.
Actually, this is the architecture. It works behind background the screen. So the examples wouldn't. This is just the architecture. If the things that which is visible for us is just a terminal. So we
Yeah, I
actually
understand. See,
so
Devang,
we only interact with just the terminal. So if I this is not the architecture is not visible to us. It's just that all the technology works behind the scene. So example is not possible for it. And that's why I didn't add the explanation for it.
okay, I understand the match, but without understanding so if I go for any application, any framework, without understanding the architecture, I won't be able to, I won't be able to connect with the application or with the framework if I don't know the architecture that is working behind it. If you have a terminal in front of it, you will have to know the architecture behind it to work with the terminal that is uh, so I have used many frameworks. I've not used cloud computing before. That is fine. But architectures are main important part that needs to be explained with examples. Now that is not my problem how you come up with the example, but there should be an example. I also have given examples for architectures before. Okay. So there should be an example that try to come up with a creative example. Man. Don't give me reasons that, yeah, so this is an architecture, it cannot be explained with an example. Yeah, there are examples for everything now. You
What
understand?
is available for me for the reference materials that what is available for me. Okay.
Yeah,
The reference material that was given to me.
yeah,
That explains this much, and I watched the videos. So
yeah,
all the explanation that I get is was that much that I've delivered. So
yeah, I understand, man. See, these recordings that we are recording, these presentations, they are seen by many people. And based on these recordings and your presentations, course, people are getting. I want you to give examples because the resources that you're getting, they don't need to give examples because they are not getting judged by any other people or they are not getting scored by any other people. You need to give examples that firstly it will create an understanding of yourself, because if you can create an example out of something that you have just learned, it will only better your understanding. Okay, I'm just telling, if you cannot, if you don't want to, it is on you, ma'am. I'm just giving you a review. Okay, because I have seen many architecture explanations before also, and they do. That's why I was just giving a review to you. If you can, man, then you can do it. Okay, that was the only thing. Other than that, your presentation was fine, man. That it was good. I didn't find any flaws in it. You included the question answer slide, your reference files, and all those minor things which are required.
Yes, sir. I have a question as well.
Yeah.
Actually, before that, the presentation part, we used to put the task in Trello groups. Okay.
Yeah.
So one by one, if we have completed a task, we put the Trello, all the tasks in
Yes.
Trello board, and then Divyansh sir would just go through it and check and give the thumbs up sign to confirm that it was evaluated.
Yes. Yes.
But after I don't know, in last month or so, we need to give the presentation. So this was my first presentation. So
Yes.
I needed to know that do I have to give all the presentation, because I just made a presentation like this, which includes all the services. These are just small instances that of AWS services. So this is just Amazon EC2. This is SES, just like a person just explained about it before me. SES. Now this is the Nginx proxy. IAM users S3. There are lots of things that we have just put into the Trello board like this. So we just used to do it on a weekly basis. So we never need to give the presentation. So this was the first presentation that I delivered. So I could give the presentation of explaining these all one by one, but that would take a lot of. It's not like that. This we have already completed all the tasks for it. So it has been evaluated. So
If the
I
task
just
has
made
been
a
evaluated, see man, if the task has been evaluated, you don't have to give the presentation because the presentations are there for your evaluation. Okay. For you to be evaluated, the presentations are there.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If,
Just like it was evaluated by like this, just giving a thumbs up to any that like this. Yeah, we
okay,
get this
so
types of reaction
firstly, can you
from
show me
Divyansh
your
support.
task? What was the task that was assigned to you? So
These are the
I'll have a
tasks.
better understanding of what to take.
The first was Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. So
What
this was
is
a task.
EC2 instance you
Uh,
had to make or what?
we need to like this type of task. We used to get this was a task I got for the Teredata skill. Was a reference task. We need to actually put the task in now in this technical support. Previously, we used to just put it on the Trello
Here
board.
I can see use
So
Teradata SQL
this was the
Assistant.
task.
Go back to that task.
Yes, sir. Is it visible?
Use Teradata SQL Assistant to create and manage databases and tables. But I did not see any demo from you.
Yes, sir. Demo. I have. Is it visible? The cell part. That was the explanation part. The demo part is it was very simple because it just needs to create a table. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
I
include it,
understand.
but
You can just create a
you
table
could
and write
yes,
a normal
just
SQL code for that.
is my cell is visible terminal.
The terminal is not visible, your Gmail is visible now.
Yes. Just a second. No.
Still, it is not visible. Yeah, now it is visible.
So this is a simple task, so I didn't include it. Like this.
Man, you need to show these demos. If you
Yes,
don't
sir,
show these
that
demos,
no, sir,
then
sir, this was
how will we know, man?
because this was just
Yeah, I
like
understand. It is
this
just a
printing the
table
SQL stuff.
in a
I have
SQL
done.
database.
I've actually because there was a SQL task was also included before it, but not was in Teradata. It was on different software, so I've included that. So so I find it to be repetitive, so that's why I just didn't.
It's fine, man. If
As
it
it
is
is here.
if it is written that you need to make something, you need to include that in the demo as well.
Yes, sir,
Because
this is
then
like
you will lose marks, and then you will not know why did you lose marks. And then you'll get a review saying that you have not shown any demo. Then you'll say to yourself that
yes, sir.
however
Okay,
simple
sir,
the demo was, I should have done it.
Okay, so this was just for displaying all the contents of the table. We could add
Can you segregate them using the SQL query into male and female? Can you make two tables? You know how to type SQL queries?
yes, a little bit. I could.
Do you know? Can you
We
segregate them?
I could, yes, sir. We could use a group by
Yes,
to
yes,
segregate.
yes, yes. Okay, that is fine.
So that could be
Okay.
used.
Devansh, that is fine now. It was a good. You have some knowledge about the task. Good to know that now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the presentation.
So I just was wanted to ask that question, that do I have to go to all the other previous tasks, or it was complete from my side? That would be enough for me, because
So
I have explained.
if there's a longer task, you will have to give presentations every week. If it is
So
a
it was
1 week
for the
task,
week. Yes,
it
sir.
was
1 week task was
then you have to
one
give
task.
presentation for the whole task at once.
Yeah. So I could explain that presentation slide that I've shown to you, which includes all the small minor tasks. Tasks. So
You
do I
can
have to
ask
give the
these same
presentation?
queries. See, man, you can ask the same. You can ask these same queries on the Trello itself. You can just type it out. You'll get an answer there for sure. Okay. Right now, I have
Yes,
to
sir.
take some presentation, so I won't be able to tell you everything. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And put Devansh, put your email ID in the chat as well. Okay. Next, we have Mahendra. Mahendra, you can start your presentation.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Sir, I'm Mahendra Changri from Cyber Security Group. My presentation is on DOS attacks. DOS attacks means denial of service. Sometimes we see our banking websites or other websites that says error or overflowed. We can say error 404. It means they have users more than they can capacitate. So the sequence of the presentation will be what is DOS attack, how does a DOS attack works, and types of DOSes and prevention of DOS attacks, and which are the most high profile DOS attacks that have happened in recent events. And then I will show practically how we can avoid it and how we can do it. What is DOS attack? DOS attack means attacking on a website with extreme numbers. Like a website can handle 100 clients at a time. So we threw 1,000 clients at him. So it will crash and no other user can use it. Or basically it is useful to avoid uses of genuine customers. So that a genuine customer cannot use, like if a website have a capacity of 100, just as I told you, the 100 genuine customers can use that website. But if I don't want anybody to reach that, so I will use a DOS attack. So it will flood it. So nobody, beside me, nobody else can use that website. To them, it will just show loading, or it is still not reachable, or no, connection not attached, or connection not established. This means DOS attack. How does it, as I told you, it both comes with DOS attack and what is DOS attack and how it works. So we flood the website or server and it doesn't responses. Types of buffer attack. This is the normal attack. We send more traffic to the website and it blocks or just deads. ICMP flood. We send small packages to the website through data, not clients, through data. So the website slowdowns. It mostly used for data storage servers or data storage websites like Google Drive, Apple Drive. For this website, we use ICMP flood. Sign floods mostly used for servers. SYN flood used only for servers. SYN means synchronize the data which we keep connected with, like AWS server. We use AWS server for Linux and operating systems, or we can say for virtual machining. So SYN flood is useful for mostly to establish or disconnect the connection between a user and client on server websites. Prevention. We can perform vulnerability audits so that we can see which ports are open and which ports are vulnerable. The ports that are not in use, we can close them. There are 65,535 total ports from 0 to. So we can use any port or we can block any port which is not in use. Secure infrastructure. It's basically depends on the company how they secure their infrastructure. Reduce the attack surface. Attack surface reduces means instead of one server, we can direct users to multiple servers, so that if a single server is attacked, the 4 servers will be still on and they will serve for the website. Creating a DOS response, a plan, it totally depends on the company how they plans on the or the creator of website or developer. Looking for warning signs. It can say response time. As soon as the websites get working and what is happening or who is attacking to shut down that IP. It mostly depends on the user, or we can say admin. Most high profile DOS attacks. Attack on AWS in 2020. It happened in Feb 2020. Amazon Web Service is a cloud computing service that was down from a DOS attack. They were sending data in terabytes. As AWS is a server, so there is a lot of data in and out. So they used a packet. They used ICMP flood to send packets so that the website will get down. Then there is a attack on GitHub. As everybody knows, as every developer or you can say cyber security network engineer uses GitHub, they attack GitHubs. They attack they attack the GitHub by 50,000 times most powerful. As for example, if GitHub can handle 1 TB data per second, they attack it with 50,000 TB per data. So the alert was targeted after 10 minutes when they take down the DOS attack. And the attack was up for 20 minutes. So it caused a lot of money to these companies, or even if they are closed for a few minutes also. And the last one was on Google in October 16, 2020. The Google team didn't got responded immediately. They knew after a several time. Means about 1 day or 2. I didn't got the exact time because the server wasn't reported. It was just reported by their engineer who reported after 2 days. He was saying that this was the biggest attack, DOS attack on Google ever happened. And these are the SPNs, ISPs that they blocked. And for example, I will be using the HTTPS DOS tool, Switchblade 4.0. Sir, can I show my practical?
Yeah, you can. You don't have
Okay,
to.
I will be using Putty for converting to my Linux server, which is on AWS. Here is my virtual machine. It's on a free tier 2-core machine, 1 GB RAM and 12 GB internal storage. So first I will start with sudo network, sudo Apache. It maintains all the networking services. Command is on. Service Apache start. Here it is the command to start sudo service, so it can scan everything and see the networkings. Here it is started, and for stop we have to just write instead of stop we have instead of start we have to write stop. So I will just cut it then. Then the software is downloaded. Here is the software, Switchblade 4.0. This is the software. First, we will set up our Linux server to identify the open ports. So for that, I have to run netcat. This is the netcat command. K is for connection, L for is listening, which ports are open, and V for is verbose, and P is for port. So I have already blocked this port, so I will change the port to 5555. It will for us, it will be easy. And this is here. Whenever a packet will come, it will show here in that. So I will switch to Switchblade. All I have to do is here, I have to just put the IP server, IP of the server, that is 34.238.104. And we will use colon. Then we will put the port number, specified port number, or you can port number is mostly used because which port use, because when ports are not in use, most websites close their ports. So first we have to identify which port is common. That is a different thing, but this is for only DOS attack. So here it is. I will be using 400 connections. At a time, 400 connection will be established. Here it is. Here are the packets. Sir, can you see that? Here it is. Server has reached its limit. It only has a limit of 100 users. You can see lot. Connection limit reached. Only 100 connections can be established from a single. And this is my IP address of my local machine, 103.77.22.235. And it will show how many connections has been established. Here it is. Connected 100 only, because the server limit is only of 100 connections. Disconnected 300, targeted 400. So we will cancel the attack. And now, as this is server is controlled by Kali Linux, we will just cancel that attack. The attack has been cancelled. Now I will run the IP table. Here is the IP table. What it does, it limits the connection on that. We have to just maintain the port. As I mentioned, 555, I will mention here. Reject. First, I was using 4455 port. So this time I will just use port 5555. This is the connection. As you can see, so we will just do it 10. As the limit of our server is 100, we will limit it to 10. From single IP, these blocks are user from IP. If you have multiple attacks, then you have to identify the IPs, and then we have to just run this command. Here it is established. Now we again have to use netcat. Here is 55 port. I will be using this. Then we will switch to Switchblade. Here is again I will be using 400 connection, 50 connection per rate, and 100 seconds. And here it is. Here it is. Only 10 connections are connected. Active 250. Targeted 400. Here it is. Only 10 connection has been made. Yeah, only 10 connection has been made. And these are the devices, or you can say apps, from which the attacks are being used remotely. Windows, NetCrawler, Trident, NetClear, MSI, and these are browsers, or you can say apps. Yeah. Only active 9, and it's dropping because the attack is ended. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Sir, I have done with my presentation. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, Mahendra. What
Yes, sir. It is done.
It is done. Okay.
Yeah, it was a short one actually. It was just a
Okay.
DOS single server attack.
Okay. So you talked about what is DDoS. You went over what are some DDoS
How to
attacks
avoid it.
that happen. Okay. You gave us an example of a DDoS attack as well. You used
Yes.
Switchblade 4.0. Are there any
Yes.
other software that you can use for DDoS attack?
Yeah, sir, but we have to do a lot of research because their softwares are mostly illegal. You cannot
Okay.
download. Even for Switchblade, I have to do a lot of research.
Okay.
When I go over the reference video, that sir was using Divyanshu sir was using OS, but the website was taken down, and it is now a news website for cyber security and other things.
Okay. Now, my another question to you is, do you know any softwares that can prevent these DDoS attacks? So I know there are a lot of softwares that do prevent these DDoS attacks.
So DDoS attacks don't only prevent, mostly are not based on softwares. Like I am using my server from Linux, so I can limit the connection. Here I set only to 10 from a single IP.
So
We
there
don't
are
have to
some
put IP.
softwares.
We just have to put port number. Here
Okay.
I haven't mentioned any IP. I
Okay,
just
so
have to put port
I
number because
understand. I understand. I
yeah.
understand. I understand. I told you because companies integrate softwares
Yeah.
that watch over these IP addresses,
Yeah, but they are
and
totally custom made as their
yeah,
requirement.
custom. Yeah. But there are some softwares that you yourself can use, like Hulk.
I tried, but I haven't found. As I told you, sir, it's very difficult.
Yeah,
I've
it is
tried many
difficult.
softwares to find, but
Yeah,
I
I'll
can't
tell you.
even on dark web.
I'll tell you, sir. Don't worry.
Please, sir.
You can use Hull, Slow Loris, and Pylorus. Yes, these are some of the softwares that you can use because I've used them myself. That's why I know. These
I'm
softwares,
trying
what
to
they
find many softwares, but I'm not able to find them actually.
okay. So what they do is they watch over your IP, and if a request, so if the number of requests goes over your defined requests, okay.
Okay.
So here your defined requests are for 100, correct?
Yes.
So
It is by default set by AWS.
okay. So
Yes.
if your requests go above that, it will look at the number of requests that are coming from the same IP. So even
Yeah.
those requests are coming from this. If so, your IP and that IP are connected, then only a node is formed, and then the requests are coming. If those
Yes.
requests are coming from the same IP, they'll try to neglect that IP. They'll try to
Yes.
block that IP address. So these softwares
They
do
reject the
does things.
connections.
Yeah. So these
Same
softwares
here,
does
just
these
like
things.
here, a new connection denied, connection limit has reached.
Yes. So this same will they'll create a pirate IP address. A pirate IP
Yeah.
address is something that is a pseudo IP address in the sense it does not stay as the IP address that is shown, but it is encrypted in a such a way that it is a different IP address, but it will en route all the traffic to that IP address, whatever the IP
Yeah.
address is having the whatever is the traffic on the IP
You can
address,
say it will direct the attacks to a fake server
yes. So
or a virtual machine.
or a virtual machine, or you
Yeah,
can say
mostly.
it is like a VPN of a server.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are softwares that does this. So do research on these. It will be interesting for you,
Sure.
man.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, I'm currently working on 2 projects. One is my last project was hacking of a Windows machine.
Yeah.
And
That is the
second
first
one,
project, I think, for you.
no, it's my third project actually.
Okay.
Fourth.
Okay.
I used to give presentations to, yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
Upadhyay, sir.
Yeah.
And now I'm
Mhm.
switched to you.
Yeah, he's on leave right now. That's why.
Okay.
So the presentation was very nice. Now it was well
Thank you, sir.
explained. Well done for the presentation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can lower your hand.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, guys. So it is already 9 now. The people remaining are Abhishek Kumar Singh, Vedahi, Shelke, and Ratiranjan Sahu. I'll note down these names. You guys can join in the next meeting, and I'll take your presentations on priority for the next meeting. Okay. I understand it must be frustrating for waiting this long and not giving your presentations. Okay. So I understand. I'll take your presentations on priority for the next meeting. I'll note down your name, Abhishek Kumar. Vaidehi. If anyone have any doubts, they can put it in the chat itself. Okay. Okay.